would love to show it to you in the warmth of our showroom or bring it right to your driveway. For maintenance, we offer a few options to make service appointments convenient, like free pickup and delivery within 25 miles of the address, including all of Lincoln. We can also come to you with our mobile service unit to help quickly get going again. Zollner Ford and Beatrice, sales and service with a smile.
State basketball on NCN is brought to you by Roe Buick in Grand Island and Roe Chevy in Aurora. And by News Channel Nebraska. Want to know which games we're televising each week? Follow us on X at NCN Sports.
Just finished an epic game? Keep the excitement going with a stop at Good to Go convenience store on your way home. Refuel with a fresh coffee. Grab a tasty sandwich and fill up your tank to be ready for the next adventure. Whether you're celebrating a win or discussing the highlights, Good to Go has all your post-game refreshments covered. Make it a part of your game day routine.
Good to Go post-game snacks.
My name is Jesse Moore. Our 22-year-old son died from suicide. My journey with Caden's death was leading me down many dark paths, of which none included blaming God. It would have been easy, and he would have accepted it. How or why? I did not. I am not sure of other than the signs that only Jesus could have possibly controlled were put in front of me from the moment of this horrible family event. The only way I found to ease the pain of losing Caden was the time that I was able to spend in prayer with Jesus. If you are struggling,
State basketball on NCN is brought to you by Unity Eye Centers, your provider of choice for complete vision care for all ages. And by News Channel Nebraska. Want to know which games we're televising each week? Follow us on X at NCN Sports.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
A body in motion stays in motion until you feel that muscle tighten, that sharp pain you didn't expect, and suddenly you're stopped in your tracks. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief in just minutes. Don't get sidelined by muscle cramps. Stay in the game with KRT.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
Hi, I'm Baylor Shireman, proud to call Aurora, Nebraska home. From dreaming big in a small town to being drafted by the Boston Celtics, I've always aimed for the best. That's why I rely on Roe Buick in Grand Island and Roe Chevrolet in Aurora for my vehicles. When you're driven to succeed, you choose a winning team. Before you drive away in your next car, check with the team that knows how to win. Roe, it's the Roe you know.
This broadcast is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or Good to Go convenience stores today. See the trainer. Need relief from pain or support for recovery? Don't see just anyone. See the trainer. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln. Proud to be your local Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Hi, my name is Ryan. John chapter 8 says, "Let the one among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone." Jesus tells us not to condemn others. It's not our job. He then tells the woman being condemned, "Now go and sin no more." He loves her too much to let her stay where she is. He wants so much more for us. He wants us not to just squeak by in our lives, but to live fully in Christ's example.
Hey, sports fans, heading to the big game tonight? Make sure you stop by Speedy Mart before you hit the stadium. Fuel up your car and grab your favorite snacks and drinks to keep your energy high. Whether it's chips, soda, or a quick meal, Speedy Mart has everything you need to kick off your game night right. Don't miss out. Swing by Speedy Mart for all your pre-game essentials.
Speedy Mart, snacks before the game.
This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska. '25 Nebraska State Basketball on News Channel Nebraska is presented by Currency. Does your business need help financing big-ticket items? Currency is here to help. Visit gocurrency.com for details. Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com. Teammates Mentoring. Join the team, be a mentor. Go to teammates.org today. Woodhouse Auto. Convenience delivered every time. Medica. With a Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for. And by 5 Points Bank. Trust the better bank with your financial needs.
Okay, cool.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Devaney Center. Doug Duda, Andy Klassen, great to be back here. The day is about over, and we could have another good one.
We really could. It's no mistake that Cedar Catholic is here. They play their best at the end of February, into March, and once again, for the 15th time, they find themselves in the state tournament.
And again, you're wondering 15 and 11. Well, we know the kind of schedule that they play.
You're exactly right. They are battle tested, and they've made this tournament now 6 of the last 8 seasons. So yeah, they're only 15-11, 4 games above 500. That's because they challenge themselves in the regular season to make a postseason run.
Then you take a look at Southwest. A lot of newness here. They've got Shannon Lovin as their coach, and then you've got the player that we're going to be watching out for in a freshman in Aspen Billiter. Her brother, also the leading scorer on the boys team, and the reason the Billeters are at Southwest, Daddy came over in an administrative role. Drew was a big part of Loomis in the late 90s being down here at the state tournament, so they definitely got the bloodline from Mom and Dad.
And what's so impressive about Billiter, she's only a freshman, but the chemistry she's developed with her team and also her instinctiveness. She's so good at distributing the basketball, finding players early and often, setting them up in a good way to score.
Andy, what about Cedar Catholic? Who are we looking at?
We're looking at Warman, of course, the coach's daughter. She's one of those special offensive talents, so when the offense needs it, she can create. She can find her own shot.
You got a coach's daughter, but you have first time for Southwest. That may kind of even things out here today.
It really might. We know that Southwest has such a phenomenal record, only dropping 1 game all season. But then on the other side, you have the team where they got the experience. They've been here before. How's that going to play out?
Well, we're going to find out. The winner will advance on and play Elm Creek, who just had a nice dominating performance over Diller Odell. It's Cedar Catholic and Southwest in the state quarterfinals coming up next on NCN.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Hi, I'm Jake. I grew up with a great relationship with God. After high school, I became selfish and put my own desires before God. I struggled with alcohol and lust, and the devil had a tight grip on me. My life was full of darkness, and I was on the verge of losing my family. Thankfully, I chose God as my higher power, and through treatment, amended my relationship with God and my family. If you are struggling, contact your local pastor or priest, or call 402-379-2030.
Well, the weather didn't halt things with Cedar Catholic. Their boys actually were the only team to win a district final last night, and now here are their girls. And the third member of our team, Eric McKay, has more.
Well, Cedar Catholic has made it to state with double-digit losses on their resume. It's honestly not that unusual. They're the 11th team to have done that since 2019. What is a little bit unusual? The double-digit loss teams do pretty well in the first round. Of the previous 10 teams, 6 of them won their first-round matchups, including Cedar Catholic twice in 2022 over Elmwood Murdoch, and again back in 2020 over Weeping Water. What Cedar Catholic's trying to do this year that none of those other double-digit loss teams have done is make it past the semifinals into the championship. To do that, though, they got to get past a Southwest team tonight that, it should be noted, is 14-0 against teams with double-digit losses this season. Nothing but wins at the broadcast booth. Doug Duda, Andy Klassen back with starting lineups and all the action. You're watching Class D1, a quarterfinal action on News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit gocurrency.com for details. The Carpet Shop, providing quality residential and commercial floor covering and installation for almost 50 years. And by See the Trainer, with locations in Columbus, Lincoln, Omaha, Bellevue, and North Platte.
Insurance for us is a big deal. You know, you've got property and equipment and materials and people and workers' comp and things like that. It's a size large deal to keep your arms around that, to make sure that you're insured and properly and to manage your risk. They understand that we're going to keep expanding our business, which means more volume, which means more insurance, more equipment, more everything, and ways to lower our operating costs.
I'm Jenny Last with Agri City Insurance, protecting what you grow today and tomorrow.
And welcome back to the Devaney Center. A chance to take a look at these two schools. Where are they from? Who have they played? How do things look? Take a look at what's going on there with Southwest, the Rough Riders. They're coming into the Navy, Carolina blue and white. Cedar Catholic, the Trojans, in their red and white. 15 state tournament appearance. Southwest, the Rough Riders, down in the Bartley, Indianola area. We're going to have a whole lot more on that. This is one of those schools that has a whole bunch of really little towns that have come together and have been called a variety of things over the years. But basically, I think a lot of folks will remember this is the old Republican Valley, and we're going to hear a lot about them. For Cedar Catholic, up in the northeast part of the state, they have made the championship run one time back in 1986. They were Class B in 1986, now in D1 with their girls basketball team. The last time that they were in the state final was 2010, but they were here just 2 years ago in 2023. Cedar Catholic up in the northeastern part of the state in Hartington, and of course, Eric McKay knows a lot more about that. Well, let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's basketball game. Cedar Catholic, the visitors on the scoreboard. They'll go with number 1, a 5'2" senior in Bailey Hochstein. She averages 4 points a game. Number 4, 5'10" senior Caitlin Arns, 8 points a game. Lauren Berniker is number 5, the 5'9" senior at 6 points a game. Number 10, Aniston Workman. She is your leading scorer, just over 12 points a game, a 5'8" sophomore. Number 33, Addison Walter, 12 points a game, a 5'10" junior. Now for the Rough Riders of Southwest. Number 1 is a 5'6" senior, Anastasia Gallegos, 8 points a game. Number 4, 5'4" senior, Allison Van Pelt at 7.5 points a game. The freshman Aspen Billiter, just over 16 points a game, a 5'7" freshman. Number 20 is a junior at 6 foot. That is Kyra Nelms, 12.5 points a game. And Adley Nelms, number 23, a 5'10" senior at just under 6 points per game. Head coach is Shannon Lovett of Southwest and Craig Wortman of Cedar Catholic. And those are the starting lineups for tonight's basketball game, brought to you by Medica. With a Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for at Medica. Should be a fun game tonight, and we'll get ready to tip things off in just a moment. But Annie, sometimes it's beneficial to play that late game, although some of these teams, because of the storm, came in early yesterday, so they have had a little bit more time maybe here in Lincoln than anticipated.
Well, and we heard it in the postgame from some players from Elm Creek. That kind of helped them because they got out into the gym, shot around a little bit, maybe when they wouldn't have it, had weather not been an issue, getting teams in here a little earlier. And boy, did it work out for the Buffaloes. They found their range early, got that offense clicking right away.
By the way, we did have our first major upset of the tournament in Class A just moments ago. The 7th seed Omaha Westside beat Millard North 42-40. The Battle of Bellevue going over at Pinnacle Bank between East and West, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. As what a moment for those at Southwest. Yeah. As the folks back home watching their young ladies introduce the first state tournament team for the Rough Riders.
You know, I think the first time you see this squad, their size kind of jumps out at you. And the scouting report is you better look out because they'll run you out of the gym. Love to score in transition, churn you over on defense, on ball pressure, all those things. But then they also have the size, so you know they're going to be tough to really, dominate down low, which we've seen Cedar Catholic, especially the back half of the season, which they've been able to do so through Wortman and her counterparts. Might not be as easy with Southwest, the way that they're able to clog up the middle with their size, but then get out and run with their guards.
Well, that could be, we've already seen this a couple of times today. If you're a team that is used to score, press, turnover, score, press, turnover with a lot of layups, sometimes you have trouble in the half court. And Shannon Lovin says that is probably their biggest weakness, is still finding a way to run a half court offense.
Yeah, you're exactly right. When you get kind of lazy, right, when you can just score in transition, turn over on that high ball pressure. But I feel like they got the size to match up with the Trojans, who are so good in the half court. That is going to be a fun matchup to watch.
Well, of course, Coach Wortman, an alum of Cedar Catholic, big part of those teams in the late 90s and early 2000s. So see how it all plays out tonight. Southwest, their only loss to Maywood Hayes Center all the way back in game number 2. They have won 22 consecutive ball games. And actually, before the postseason, Cedar Catholic had lost 4 in a row. We're ready to go. Southwest actually won the tip, but Cedar Catholic jumps in and grabs the basketball, and we are underway. A 3 right off the get-go is going to be short, no good, and Southwest gets it. Seems like every game I've watched today, Andy, nobody's made that first shot.
I feel like it's just a depth percentage thing, right? Devaney plays a lot different than most home gymnasiums across the state of Nebraska, especially when you get into D1, C2 type of schools.
Well, here it is. That pressure we're going to see from Southwest. Cedar Catholic brings it right up the sideline, trying to go coast to coast and kicking it Wortman into the corner. Such a key against pressure defenses. The three-pointer is buried by Hochstein. Maybe the most famous name in Hardington history is a Hochstein, but she knocks it down. If you've got a guard that can one-on-one break press, that is the big key in a state tournament or any tournament game.
Boy, that's a great point there. Cedar Catholic able to just run down the sideline the entire length of the court, then find Holstein at the top of the key for a wide-open 3.
Inside, Southwest answers.
And there's that size. That's the size we were talking about.
Nelms knocks it down, and then pressure on the inbounds. We're going to get a foul called here. By the way, Annika and Kyra Nelms are twin sisters for Southwest. Atlee, a cousin. So, again, if we get in any trouble, we'll just say Nelms, and we've got a really good chance of being right. Cedar Catholic, again, working against the pressure. Hochstein up on the right side. I think they found something they like. Wortman brings it all the way in. Contested, layup, no good. Offensive putback, no good. Tipped out to the free throw line. It'll be run down there by Van Pelt. They want to run. Shot up, contested again, no good. But following her shot and able to finish is Gallegos.
Gallegos gets the bounce, sticks with it. Nice play. Once again, Southwest attacking the rim.
So good pace to the ball game already. Maybe a walk up top, but getting bumped on her way to the hoop is going to be Walter, and we're going to see our game's first free throws.
And Walter did a really nice job.
No, we're not. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. They're going to say no shot.
Okay. But Walter had a really nice defensive stand there initially against Gallegos, who was driving, going straight up, not getting the foul called.
Deep 3 from the corner. It's no good. Backside rebound run down there by Billiter. So here's our player to watch, the freshman, Aspen Billiter. All the way to the baseline, tries to kick it out, has it tipped out of bounds.
Just kind of out of sorts that whole way from half court on. Couldn't really quite get the handle.
So nice shot there in the corner. Again, we said her brother Hudson had over 20 points a game for the boys team. So they got something going down there at Southwest. Ball knocked away.
And I like this offensive approach early on here from Southwest. The Rough Riders really trying to pound the ball inside, establish themselves on the block.
Southwest trouble giving it in. Have to go to the outlet. How about a deep 3? Nelms, no good. Crash the boards. 4 blue and white jerseys over there, and Southwest able to get the rebound and get another chance. Second chance opportunities. You kind of mentioned it, Andy.
Yeah.
Chance with that height to get more opportunities, and we got a foul way out here away from the hoop defensively.
Boy, and Cedar Catholic did everything they could. They were getting bodies on bodies. Ball kind of, pinballed around a little bit there, but the Rough Riders able to come up with it. kind of award themselves a second look.
All right, Southwest with the basketball. Want to say thanks to Custom Sports. From screen printed T-shirts to jerseys, they have what your team needs to look great. Check them out at customsports.com. Here's Billiter, spin move, blocked from behind. Getting a hand on there is Berniker. And off to the races go the Trojans. How about a pull-up three on the left wing? Might have got a hand on it. It's going to be short. Baseball pass to the other end. Here comes Gallegos, but you can't handle the pass.
You saw Gallegos, hit that fifth gear, if you will, tracked it down, tried to put on the brakes, just unable to do so at the very end.
Need those Velcro hands at that kind of speed. All right, every time here, and dribbling out of bounds is going to be Wortman. So every time against this press, Andy, they've brought it right in front of us up on the right side, something that obviously on the scouting report that they liked.
And that's where Southwest can get half that additional defender, take away that sideline, force the ball back into the middle of the court.
So Southwest with an early 4-3 lead. Only 2.5 minutes into the ball game. And Cedar Catholic not afraid to push that man-to-man way out here. Southwest trying to spread it, run some back cuts, get Billiter open here. Drives the right side of the key. Wow, tough shot, no good. That's great defense by Cedar Catholic. Then try to get the basketball back is Van Pelt. Can't do it.
Great box out by Walter on the backside as she brings the ball up now.
And the shot up is good, but again, it's going to be called before the bucket.
This isn't NBA, so don't get the continuation. Tonight's officials, Taylor Winkler, Scott Johnson, and Brody McIntosh. Excuse me, Clint Dennis, Brad Hoffman, Jeff Keegle.
Yeah, if you want to send hate mail to somebody, make sure you send to the right guys. I mean, come on here. Coming in here for Southwest is going to be the other Nelms. Annika is going to check in.
They don't make the crews go back-to-back here at the state tournament.
No. Cedar Catholic to throw it in. Looking for their second bucket. The only thing they have is that three-pointer to start the ball game from Hochstein. Now a little room. Hochstein comes in, flips it up over the defender, no good. And Southwest grabs the rebound here. Nelms at 5'11", definitely more height coming off the bench.
Yeah, excellent help defense that time coming across the center of the lane.
Good call by the official.
Yep. I'll tell you what, this recovery defense from Cedar Catholic, it appears they get beat off the dribble, but they get back into position. That time clogging up the lane. You saw the help come over, slide over.
All right. Foul called on Southwest. Now it's just getting a little, I don't want to say sloppy, but we haven't got any points. We haven't got a good shot for a little while, a little more physical, and now we're starting to see the whistle blow.
Yeah, and that last whistle, obvious foul there on Gallegos. Feels like the officials are trying to clean it up a little bit, get this thing back on track.
All right, Hochstein working it around the perimeter here. Still staying in that man-to-man. Putting her head down, driving in, and finishing will be Wortman with her first bucket of the basketball game.
That's what we talked about in the pregame. That Wortman can create. She can find her shot. Ooh.
Here comes Billiter trying to do the same thing, but can't finish. The rim denies, and Cedar Catholic with Berniker on the rebound. 5-4, Cedar Catholic. Try a three from the left-hand corner. It's all good. Savannah Pick.
Excellent job working the ball around the perimeter. The extra pass for the Lady Trojans.
Teams exchange turnovers. And we'll come to the other end. And how about we knock it out of bounds one more time? And that'll be interesting too, Andy, because Southwest just hasn't been trailing very much this year. Yes, they've had a few close games, but how can they handle that if they get down 6-8 points?
That's a really good question, and a lot of teams, they get tested here in a different way at the state tournament. And how are the Rough Riders going to deal with being down? Just 4 points, a couple possessions, but still they're not used to being down.
How about a corner three on the way that won't go for Van Pelt? A long rebound off the long three. Try to dump it inside. It's no good, and it's going to be stolen away. Cedar Catholic, and we're going to get a timeout here on the floor to save the possession for Hartington Cedar Catholic. 3:43 to go in the first quarter. This is the D1 quarterfinals. Cedar Catholic 8 and Southwest 4 on NCN.
A body in motion stays in motion until you feel that muscle tighten, that sharp pain you didn't expect, and suddenly you're stopped in your tracks. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief in just minutes. Don't get sidelined by muscle cramps. Stay in the game with KRT.
And welcome back. Doug Good, Andy Classo with you here as the ball is stolen away. Southwest cannot finish. How about a second chance? No. Third chance? No.
Oh. Doug, is there a lid on the rim there? Southwest with a couple really good looks, fighting for those rebounds, getting a second and third shot opportunity, just cannot capitalize.
And many chances there. You're going to have to get on their horses and ride here a little bit. About that one. We're still away from the Kentucky Derby, but we can get some of those horses going. That'd be pretty fun. All right, back into the ball game is Walter, but she gets called for the travel. Our first quarter action here brought to you by John Henry's. Our family serving yours. John Henry's, another one of the many fine sponsors as we get to bring you the state basketball tournament here on NCN.
Okay, dead ball is going to allow Cedar Catholic to administer the full court pressure, and they do. They force the turnover right away.
Yowza. All right, Cedar Catholic now underneath their own hoop. 8-4, drive baseline. Whoa, what a play by Walter, but couldn't finish. How much of that have we seen already?
Yeah, Nelms clears it. Southwest off to the races.
Billiter puts her head down, looks for contact, can't finish. Oh, man, both teams would have a lot more fun if it was 18-14 right now, because it sure could be.
It really could. Definitely some frustration, some good looks. You just saw another one there, Southwest. Bunny shot, rims out.
Lob it out on the left wing. Get the ball into the hands of Van Pelt. Now we're going to get another travel.
Yep.
You know, because of the weather, a lot of the boys' district finals that were supposed to be played yesterday got pushed back to today.
Yes.
And got a good couple scores for you. Wausau beat Sandhills Thedford 73-41. Archangels over Medicine Valley 52-32. As the drive kicked to the corner and picked off by Van Pelt. Dundee County beat East Butler 54-50. We had a big upset in C2 as Billiter walked. Grand Island Central Catholic ranked 1 or 2. Upset tonight by West Holt, 41-38.
The
and Archbishop,
Huskies.
and one that Cedar Catholic might be interested, Archbishop Bergen over Norfolk Catholic, 51-44. Bounce pass. Can Cedar Catholic finally finish? Yes, they do. Barnes underneath. And that's our first points in a while, 10-4.
That was a tough shot there from Arns, kind of leaning away, but had the touch off the glass.
Down the low block, Southwest. Boy, somebody get a can opener.
Yeah.
That's just not fair. I thought the ice melted this afternoon, Andy.
I don't know.
It's still on that rim. Bounce pass underneath. And another layup back-to-back for Arns. So Cedar Catholic in transition is getting things spread out.
Yeah.
And they're starting to attack, and Shannon Lovett sees that. They're not scoring in transition. It's not that they're not scoring in the half court. They're not scoring in transition.
They're just not scoring at all. All these good looks. What a bounce pass, beautiful feed. And you mentioned it there, Doug. The spacing from Cedar Catholic operating their offense phenomenally here in this opening period.
Our instant replay brought to you by Unity Ice Centers. Back in a moment on NCN.
At the racetrack or the rat race round town, fuel matters. Here, customers can expect the highest quality fuel that they deserve.
Well, 2:09 to go here in the first quarter, 12-4. Cedar Catholic with the lead. And we've been up and down the floor a ton, Andy. Southwest just can't find a way to put the ball in the hoop.
You know, and it's not all about them just missing shots. Cedar Catholic really making them work hard for it. Each and every look, each and every entry pass to the post has been contested.
Press on, steal right underneath the hoop. Those are the gimmies. Those are Christmas presents. Berniker with the steal and the score. It's a 10-point lead for Cedar Catholic.
That's exactly what we're talking about. They challenge everything.
Finally, Southwest able to break that run. That had been an 11-0 run by Cedar Catholic, and Gallegos gets her second bucket.
Getting behind the defense. Nice job working the baseline.
Boy, nice move by Walter. You just expect her to get down there and post up. She can handle the basketball.
She's really good on her feet.
Both teams have been sticking to that man-to-man, although Walter kind of shades there in the paint. Just in case Nelms wants to come out and shoot a long one, they'll let her. Now she'll take it at Walter, and a foul going to be called on Walter. Must be with the body there. 2 free throws coming up.
That was just really good pace. You know, it felt like there was a rhythm for the Rough Riders on that entire offensive sequence.
Well, again, today in this 4-day state tournament, it's A, C1, and D1. Tomorrow, B, C2, and D2. And we'll have all the games right here on News Channel Nebraska Television, bringing you all the C2 and then the evening games in D2.
There's the horses you were talking about.
Even stashes, got to not just horses, but mustaches.
The new style of the 4 horsemen.
See, WTL ought to be able to handicap that. Tell me which horse is the favorite in this race.
Boy, that looks like a tough handicap. They have a lot of similarities there.
16-7 Cedar Catholic. As we approach the 1-minute mark of the first quarter, how about a three-pointer on the left wing, off the rim, the glass, and it's going to dance home. Ortman with the 3.
Used every bit of iron on that one, and that's just kind of been a difference, right? Cedar Catholic's getting the friendly roll. Southwest, anything but.
Southwest lobs it in. Boy, again, the defense you've been talking about, Andy, they collapse. Don't let Nelms get the basketball. Already up double digits here in the first quarter. Don't know for sure, but I'm going to hedge my bet. I'll bet Southwest hasn't been down double digits the first quarter all year long. Turnaround jumper, no good. Even their one loss to Maywood Hayes Center, they were able to get that back in the conference tournament, and now Billiter dribbles it off her foot.
Now Billiter a little frustrated with herself there. Nice job dribbling through, fighting through traffic behind the back. Gets that secondary defender and, gets swatted away, then goes off her foot.
Well, Cedar Catholic wanted to sub but didn't get him in quick enough there. 14 seconds, last possession possibly of the quarter. Hochstein trapped. Gallegos, but finds her teammate, swings over the left wing, and travel. Boy, there was too much space there for Pick, and she just took off.
That speaks to another point we've been talking about. Trojans playing with great spacing, really forcing the Rough Riders to, extend their defense out. Allowing for those one-on-one matchups that we've seen Walter and Hochstein really capitalize on.
All right, 5 seconds. They cleared out for Billiter. What kind of shot can Aspen get? It's going to be a 35-footer, and that's the end of the first quarter of play. We were stuck on 4-3 forever, but once Cedar Catholic got it going, they lit up on fire. Cedar Catholic 19 and Southwest 7. 1 quarter in the books of this D1 quarterfinal on News Channel Nebraska.
This broadcast is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or good-to-go convenience stores today. See the trainer. Need relief from pain or support for recovery? Don't see just anyone. See the trainer. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln. Proud to be your local Ford and Lincoln dealer.
What do you think the theme there is, Andy?
I would guess a camo theme, and I'll play on that. I don't think Southwest saw Cedar Catholic coming, and maybe the student section had something to do with that there, with that camo-themed attire that they've been wearing.
They're going to have to handle the pressure. And again, we talked about the shooting there in that first quarter, and Southwest not able to hit very many shots. Can they make a comeback, or will Southwest extend things by halftime? We get to the second quarter, Southwest with the basketball. Looks like no change here. Sometimes you throw a different zone or something to start the second quarter, then go right back to your main defense. But they're going to stay in the man-to-man.
Going to have a reset here.
One shot too strong. How about an offensive putback, though, for Nelms? Nelms to Nelms. Cousin to cousin, whatever it takes.
That was right on time with that offensive rebound and putback. Rough Riders are looking for offense. They need offense right now.
Shot inside, won't go. Rebound brought down by the Rough Riders. Cut it to 10. Could get right back in this in the first couple minutes of this second quarter.
Yeah, a lot of those shots were challenged, and that's good on, the Trojans' defense for Cedar Catholic. But those are still shots at Southwest they're used to making.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Nelms, didn't take the shot. Looks for a cutter, has to go out top. Gallegos comes in, puts it up too strong. Nelms, flat-footed, ripped away.
Uh-oh.
Here's Arns. Arns against Gallegos, puts it up, and scores.
Up and over, coast to coast. Rattles home.
So Southwest finally scores, and Cedar Catholic answers right back. See what the Rough Riders can do here. 90 seconds gone into the second quarter. Billiter in the paint. Looks for some help, puts it up, and we're going to get a whistle.
Yeah, had to work for that one, but did get the whistle she was looking for in the lane, drawing the foul.
The second quarter of this state high school quarterfinal is brought to you by O Street Carpet, supported by Steve Carper and the crew at O Street Carpet. Free throw Billiter. In and out, no good. So here it is on the replay. Trying to get something happening, yeah.
Yep.
Leaning over.
Just a smart play, keeping that pivot foot live, getting to the center of the lane.
Billiter, the leading scorer, gets her first point of the game right there. 21-10, Southwest trails here. All of a sudden, a couple shots not going for Cedar Catholic and out of bounds off of Southwest.
Going to stay with the Trojans. They're going to get a second look. Take a look at head coach Shannon Lovin. And for the Rough Riders.
Well, it's been a rough first few minutes here shooting the ball. 25%. Southwest is 4 of 16 and 50%. Now 47% after that miss. 9 of 19 for Cedar Catholic. Southwest outlet. But you're not going to get a run out here from Nelms. She might take a three, though, and it's in and out. Boy, a lot of that so far.
My goodness, you do. You sound like a broken record over there, Doug. Southwest, in and out again.
Walter, she's going to try and bury the three. No. Offensive rebound and a walk.
Travel, yep. Well timed from Arns. Sneaking in there, getting that offensive rebound. And a little indecisive there. She tried to kick it back out.
Been waiting for Southwest to cleanly break this press, but they haven't been able to do it. They've broke it. They've taken that shot to the hoop, and there's another pick. Hochstein hands it off Walter. Boy, that's the hook and lateral, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice play in transition.
Real nice flow to the game here for Cedar Catholic. Offensively, defensively. That time, defense turning into offense. And once again,
foul there on Wortman.
Addison Walter, so good on her feet, you know. Sometimes, as you mentioned, you have a post player that's just really good at putting their back to the rim, you know. have 2 or 3 good moves, power moves. Not the case with Walter. She can put the ball on the court for sure.
Billiter looking for her first field goal and is not going to get it there. Forcing it back up on the offensive rebound. It's no good for Truxa. Here comes Cedar Catholic up to Walter. She calls for it but can't handle that pass.
Wait, and it can't be overstated. Cedar Catholic's giving up a little length, right? A little size, but they're fundamentally sound, rebounding the ball, boxing out, body on a body. That's really allowed them to kind of build this lead up to 13 points now.
This replay brought to you by Unity Eye Centers. A second look, crystal clear, just like your vision with Unity Eye Centers. And just kind of watching it, too. How many of the turnovers, which both have had a ton of them, but how many of the turnovers have been runouts for Cedar Catholic like we're going to have right here, and Southwest don't get many on the other end. See here, pass goes backwards. Right. Cedar Catholic forward. Southwest backwards.
That's a great point, and I think it all starts with Cedar Catholic making it very difficult for Southwest to feed the ball inside.
There's Nels with a little room, takes it up strong. No. And we're going to get a foul or a jump. Going to get a foul.
Yep. And so once again, Pick was outsized, right? But she's kept position, boxed out, got her body into Nelms, and then drew that foul. Ultimately drew the whistle.
Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll have our halftime highlights brought to you by Sartor Hammond Jewelers and by Roe Buick in Grand Island and Aurora. Plus, Eric McKay will have the latest from the coaches. Shot in the corner on the way, off the front of the rim, no good. Ball pulled down south. Ooh, boy. That's going to be a layup. That should have been a foul on Cedar Catholic. That looked like a foul to knock her to the ground. And Shannon Lovin, I've known him for quite a while. He is not going to get too upset. He's pretty even-tempered on the sidelines. So he's not going to be one of those guys that jump up and down a lot.
And his team's going to need that type of a temperament if they're going to claw their way back into this game. They can't get flustered.
How about a three-pointer on the left wing? No good. Boy, it sure looks even now, Andy. Southwest is not getting set.
Yeah.
They're so, hey, I'm finally open,
Rushed.
and boom, boom.
I think rushed is the word, right? They feel a little rushed right now.
4 of 20 from the field. 20% for Southwest. Right corner. Off the iron. Another offensive rebound. Good block shot inside there, though, by Nelms. And Southwest gets out of there with a basketball. It was 19-7 at the end of one. And now 25-10. Just a little bit more extending the lead here for Cedar Catholic. Trying to lob it into Nelms. She wasn't open. It's stolen away. Here's Hochstein on Gallegos. Spin move into the double team. Good hustle there by Van Pelt. And Southwest is going to call a timeout. Coach Lovin, timeout on the floor with 2:50 to go in the first half. 25-10, Cedar Catholic here on NCN.
This is Emily with Family Physical Therapy at our Fountain Point location. Family Physical Therapy offers physical, occupational, and speech therapy. Our therapists are highly trained and certified in a variety of techniques, offering individualized care designed specifically to meet your needs. Our patients are welcome to a friendly environment, and our therapists are driven by their patients succeeding and meeting their goals. Family Physical Therapy proudly serving various locations throughout central and northeast Nebraska. Our goal is to get you back to work, back to play, back to life.
Doug Duda, Andy Klassen back with you here at the Devaney Center. You ever went up and watched anything from the very top here, Andy? I don't think people even know that you can get up there. If you come for volleyball, maybe. For basketball, it's an interesting view all the way up top here.
It can be a packed house here from game to game, especially that volleyball team selling out game after game.
I was thinking about taking our producer Danny up there and let him produce the game from way up there. Maybe get a camera up there. All right, Nelms drives in, kicks it out of the wing. Southwest out of the timeout. They're going to get a shot from Van Pelt, and it won't go. Into the corner, though, Cedar Catholic can't quite grab it off the hands of McKinley Lammers.
And that's a tough shot, kind of that in-betweener, jumper, runner, off the baseline, tough angle, well defended.
But it is something watching this Cedar Catholic defense right now. Getting some help on some rush shots by Southwest that aren't going in, but can they finally get a little something going here before halftime? Nelms thinks about it, decides, yep, no good. Another great rebound by Addison Walter.
Yeah, open look there for Southwest, just unable to connect on the deep three.
Back cut, beautiful pass. Walter, layup, good. Lammers. That'll make Coach Wortman happy.
Trojans have been putting on a clinic offensively when they get in that half court. Great ball movement. We've mentioned it before, the spacing, and they are clogging up the middle. Another takeaway from Southwest, trying to work the ball, force the ball inside.
This game very similar to what I saw earlier today as Walter shoots the three, no good. But it's all red underneath. Nelms does get a hand on it, blocks it about. But Minden played such incredible defense against SCOTUS today in the first half. And they were up 18 early in the third quarter. Next thing you know, a 20-2 run by SCOTUS. So I don't know if Southwest has something like that in the cards here. They're good enough at 23-1 that they should. Oh. But boy, look at this. Cedar Catholic getting everything in a frustration foul here on Southwest.
I think that's going to be on Van Pelt. Yeah, and you said it. Little frustration fouls. Van Pelt got it plucked away there by Walter.
Southwest hasn't scored in 5 minutes. 27-10. Cedar Catholic up top of the basketball. They're on a 6-0 run. They've only scored 6 in that amount of time. Shot no good, then we got over to the back. But we're not in the bonus either way. That's just the third team foul here on Cedar Catholic.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point because there's definitely been some physical play between the two teams, but you look up at the clock and there's only 5 total fouls.
All right, here's Southwest Billiter, still looking for her first bucket of the ball game. Don't forget it, coming up at halftime, we'll be talking about the stats and a whole bunch of things brought to you by Visit Kearney. Find it all in Kearney. And finally, the ball found the bottom of the net there for Billiter. Cedar Catholic, tough shot. Nell blocks the shot. Oh, then the outlet pass is thrown away. Cedar Catholic's been doing it all night.
Yep. Great job getting to the scouting report. Wortman that time well aware of where the outlet was. Snatch that pass. Looks like a defensive back sitting back waiting for that.
Well, Billiter dribbles into the double team, loses her balance. Boy, they have this team scouted so well. Here's their tendency. Here's what they're going to do. Hold your ground. Make them turn the ball over.
And Billiter's almost lucky that this is a turnover or a whistle because it would have been all Trojans on the other end with another 2-on-1 type of scenario had the play continued.
29-12, Cedar Catholic can play for the last shot here. Shot clock turned off. Although they may not wait for it if you can get the layup, but it doesn't fall. Well, who's going to get it? Red. Pitt gets it. Got her own miss. How about a three-pointer? Hochstein comes up short. Offensive rebound just thrown up there. Second time, no good. How about a third time? Partially blocked. Nelms has it. And Southwest will not get a shot away from half court. But only 2 points over the last 5.5 minutes for Southwest and just a little bit at a time for Cedar Catholic. They were up 19-7 after one, and now 29-12 at halftime, the lowest first half output of Southwest all season long.
Yeah, no doubt. Their offense has to find a rhythm, and they got plenty of things to talk over and to work on during this halftime break.
Well, we'll have stats, we'll have highlights, and a special interview and more with the coaches coming up on NCN.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
Start your next journey with Woodhouse. Our commitment extends beyond just selling cars. We offer an unparalleled car buying experience that allows you to shop and buy all online. Explore an array of new brands, makes, and models, as well as our large selection of pre-owned vehicles. And it's easy to get started today with our streamlined purchasing process online, granting you the freedom to secure your next vehicle anytime, anywhere. Discover a better way to buy with Woodhouse.
Sportsmanship embodies respect, fairness, and integrity in competition.
By showing good sportsmanship, you are respecting everyone's love for the game.
Show integrity, stay positive, and make the game enjoyable for everyone involved.
Sportsmanship is at an all-time low and needed now more than ever. Whether you're on the court or in the stands, be courteous to everyone. It's the best way to be involved in the game.
Sportsmanship is a reflection of not only you, but your parents, your school, and your community.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. The Carpet Shop, providing quality residential and commercial floor covering and installation for almost 50 years. And by See the Trainer, with locations in Columbus, Lincoln, Omaha, Bellevue, and North Platte.
Back at the Bob Devaney Sports Center, 29-12, Cedar Catholic with a lead over Southwest. Southwest making their debut at state. Every time there's a new team, one of the first things people wonder is, where are they from? Well, the answer for Southwest seems simple. They're located in Bartley, but it's more complicated than that when you look at their history. So complicated, in fact, that I had to make a chart. I'm going to bring in my assistant now. This is Baylor. She's in third grade. She's going to hold up the chart that I made. So this is the history of Southwest. It starts with 4 school districts: Danbury, Lebanon, Indianola, and Red Willow. Danbury and Lebanon combined in 1958 to become Beaver Valley. 11 years later, Indianola and Red Willow became Republican Valley. They had no change for a long time. In fact, ended up making it to state 4 times, most recently in 2003. But Beaver Valley, lots of change. Absorbed Wilsonville in 1983. In 1997, they combined with Bartley to become the Twin Valley District. A year later, they added Marion as well. Then in 2003, the Twin Valley and Republican Valley school boards came together, decided to start a new school district in Southwest. Baylor, great job. She's a third grader in Southwest. I'm going to tell your teacher no homework for you for a week. How's that sound?
Good.
Excellent. Thank you, Baylor. So there you go. Southwest history, maybe a little bit complicated, but where they are now, very simple. They're in Lincoln with some work to do, but that's why you play both halves, right? More halftime show coming. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
And welcome back to the Devaney Center here in Lincoln, where it is Cedar Catholic leading Southwest 29-12. Great job by Eric.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the time, I didn't make a chart. I was trying to explain all the towns that made up Sandhill Stedford one time, and like 8 of them combined for 400 total people.
Well, for me to keep up with it, I needed that chart. So I really appreciate the homework that Eric did there. Then how about the help he found? What was that, a third grader from Southwest helping him out?
Well, let's get to our highlights here from the first half, brought to you by Sutter Heyman Jewelers and our friends at Roe Buick in Grand Island and Aurora. It was a little rough starting off here. There wasn't much scoring early on, but for the first bucket of the ball game, Hochstein knocks down a three-pointer in the corner, but there's a jumper from Savannah Pick. This maybe was 4-3 forever before Southwest really kind of got things turned on and got going. There's a drive to the hoop by Arns. Arns knocking it down. And Southwest is going to be tough to see some of their highlights, but Billiter does get it down. Gallegos had 4 of their first 6 points of the basketball game, and there's 2 of them. Again, that great defense from what we're seeing from Cedar Catholic. Hochstein with the feed. Walter running the floor and lays it up and in, and she's done it inside and outside, Andy.
Very opportunistic has Cedar Catholic been throughout that entire first half. Another excellent pass from Walter.
She could do more than score. And drive down the middle of the lane. Finally, something falls again there for Billiter. But Southwest didn't have much to show. A good block shot. Both teams have had some defense out there, but how about picking it off after the block shot and the bucket here for Southwest and Berniker, who has done some great work in there in this basketball game. So that gets us to 29-12 here at the half. So now what do we got to find, Andy? Southwest has to get that ball going in the hoop. They're shooting 20% here in the first half. You take a look at Cedar Catholic. They just seem to be having everything clicking on all cylinders. They've missed a few, too, because of the pace of the game. But, boy, pretty good basketball game.
But they've really been showing you how multiple they can be. It wasn't just working the ball inside, relying on outside shots. Cedar Catholic's done a really nice job working the ball around and kind of giving Southwest a taste of their own medicine as far as putting on the full court press, turning defense into offense, scoring in transition. Something the Rough Riders have been known for all season long.
And we talked about this early in the game. What would happen if Southwest, who's never been here to state and is 24-1 and hasn't been in this position, what will happen? I guess we're going to find out in about the first 3 minutes of the second half.
Well, what's going to need to happen is, quite simply, they're going to have to start making shots. Cedar Catholic's making it tough. The Trojans are playing great defense, but so be it. Southwest still has to find that offensive flow. We know they're more than capable of doing it, going over 70, 69, 68 points multiple times throughout the season. The firepower's there, but at some point, shots have to start falling.
Well, we're going to tell you about the stats and more coming up. It's halftime, 29-12 here on NCN.
Here's what you can expect on News Channel Nebraska. The top local news headlines all morning, plus 8 a.m. Mass with Father Joe. Stay up to date throughout the afternoon with the NCN News app. And tune back into NCN throughout the evening for the latest developments on major stories along with live high school and college sports. News Channel Nebraska. Independent media for all Nebraskans.
Teammates Mentoring is in need of mentors, especially for students in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Meeting with a student just once a week in school can make a positive impact on their life by providing a sense of hope and helping them reach their full potential. 92% of Teammates Mentors report that they leave their mentoring time in a better mood than when they arrive. So what are you waiting for? Head over to teammates.org today to learn more information about how you can get involved. Join the team. Be a mentor.
Hi, I'm Baylor Shireman, proud to call Aurora, Nebraska home. From dreaming big in a small town to being drafted by the Boston Celtics, I've always aimed for the best. That's why I rely on Roe Buick in Grand Island and Roe Chevrolet in Aurora for my vehicles. When you're driven to succeed, you choose a winning team. Before you drive away in your next car, check with the team that knows how to win. Roe. It's the Roe you know.
The halftime show is proudly presented by Visit Kearney. Find it all in Kearney.
Well, the Kearney Sportsplex is owned by the city of Kearney and plans to open this spring, featuring so many cool aspects. And being from Kearney, Andy, I get to see this thing develop and develop and develop. They have turf field. They're going to have 3 drop-down batting cages. They have pickleball courts. They're going to have enough for 12 volleyball courts, 8 regulation high school basketball courts for tournaments, 20 wrestling mats, a lot going on at the Kearney Sportsplex.
And you're not going to miss it, right? It's the size of the Death Star, a huge facility, and it's going to have so many fun things going on, from wrestling, baseball, the batting cages. Were you one of the guys that got to tour it earlier?
Hey, well, you know.
Yeah, you got connections. I knew you'd been there.
Well, I hope the Sportsplex has a much better outcome than the Death Star. Kearney Sportsplex, located on Eunice Drive, putting it conveniently near hotels, restaurants, and the new Visit Kearney Center. A couple of quick stats for you here in the first half. Let's take a look at what we have here. We talked a little bit about the shooting percentage in this basketball game between Southwest and Cedar Catholic, and just not going so well. 20% for Southwest, as we told you here in the first half. Only 12 points, 29 points on the board for Cedar Catholic, and they are shooting 34%. they've struggled down the stretch here. They were at 50% at one point, but they're 13 out of 38, 5 out of 24. Arns has 6 points here in the first half and 4 points for Gallegos for Southwest.
And that's a great point. Southwest and their defense tenacity was able to kind of keep them in this one, not allow Cedar Catholic to really get out and run away with this one. And we mentioned how the Trojans, their defense, yes, they're challenging the Rough Riders, not allowing them easy, good looks, but some of those shots just have to start falling. They were point blank, they were inside, especially in the first quarter, where Southwest just had such a tough time converting into points.
Well, let's find out what the coaches had to say. Eric, what'd they have?
Cedar Catholic up 29-12 at the half. Spoke with both head coaches. Coach Craig Wortman of Cedar Catholic very happy with what he saw from his team in the first half. Said they're getting out, they're pressuring the ball well, running the floor well, forcing turnovers. It's exactly what he wanted from his team. Just wants to see them do it for 2 more quarters. For Coach Loven on Southwest side, said they're just forcing too many things. He said maybe the moment getting a little big for them, not finishing at the rim. So they just need to play within themselves, focus on finishing over the next 2 quarters. Guys?
Well, sound advice.
Yeah.
Coaches know, don't they, Andy?
Yeah, they really do, and that's kind of what we're hitting on. The Rough Riders just need to start converting, taking their time, playing within themselves, as Eric mentioned there, and just finishing the job when they get those looks, when they get the ball inside. They have the size. Now it's time to capitalize.
Well, we'll see how these first couple of minutes of the second half play out. Cedar Catholic gets the basketball, leading it by 17, which equals their largest lead of the game. Smart enough that they're going to work the basketball here. Run a set play. Probably not going to see a three-pointer unless the shot clock runs down.
Really like to see the movement away from the basketball from Cedar Catholic.
Ball knocked away, so a turnover. And Southwest, got to be important to just see 1 or 2 go down here right away. Even if it's not a big run, at least get a couple down here to try and think that you can get back in this basketball game.
Just something positive happening offensively.
Well, there's Billiter. She's going to draw the foul. Go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, this is a fantastic place for Southwest to kind of get back into this one from the foul line.
Let's give you a recap of what has happened here at the state tournament today. Right now in Class A at the half, Bellevue East leads Bellevue West 30-29. Millard West beat Millard South 56-33. North Star over Westview 47-42. And Westside upset North 42-40 as the first one is good. In C1, Lincoln Christian over North Bend 60-45. Gothenburg beat Bridgeport 69-51. Minden held off Scotus 42-37. And Milford beat Arlington 61-40 as we had those games for you here. And then in D1, Pender over Howells Dodge 64-45. Alma ended the game on a 19-2 run. It was their first trip to state, and they won it 45-36 as we get a wrestle and a jump ball. And then Elm Creek beat Diller Odell 60-44. So Alma kind of struggled offensively in the first half in their first trip, like Southwest is doing in their first trip.
And then found their stride in the second half, exactly what the Rough Riders looking to do here.
All right, made that first couple of free throws. Now a chance to get the ball knocked away. Cedar Catholic going to get a layup. And can't get it. Oh, just put up too strong by Arns. Billiter in the Bermuda Triangle there, getting across half court in the corner. That's a tough place to stop, right where the defense forces you. Van Pelt needs some help. Overload left side. Billiter drives in. It just won't go for Cedar Catholic. One and done. Outlet, run on the floor. There's Hochstein. Draws the foul. She'll shoot 2.
So that last offensive, possession for Southwest, not a lot of movement away from the basketball. A lot of ISO one-on-one where Billiter has to create. On the other end, Cedar Catholic getting out, running, pushing the tempo. Something we're accustomed to seeing the Rough Riders do throughout the season.
The winner of this game gets Elm Creek, 10:45 on Friday morning. Again, everybody that plays today has tomorrow off. We'll get the other half of the state tournament, BC2, D2 tomorrow. Neither free throw will go. And running down the loose ball in the corner will be Atlee Nelms. So Cedar Catholic, first few possessions, haven't scored. Billiter, nice ball screen up there, but runs into Walter, falls down, travels.
Yeah. Seeing the double team was ready and waiting for that drive down the right side. Well, you just have to admire the type of defense the Trojans have been playing here this evening.
Now can they add to this lead? Walter step back three. High Archer is going to draw iron, and it goes out of bounds. Our third quarter on News Channel Nebraska Television. We'll talk about that in a moment here. In the meantime, Southwest going to bring it up the floor. Gallegos, good pass, but Nelms can't finish. Over the back, Nelms tries to save it. Cedar Catholic has it. Scrum, one-on-one. Walters against Gallegos. Got her in the air, and that's why the foul is called.
Yeah, you saw that little hesitation there from Walter at the very end. Got the defender in the air. That's when she then finished off her drive. And it's the Trojans in the open court once again.
All right, our third quarter brought to you by Yankton Medical Group. Thanks to Yankton Medical Group and the crew for their hospitality being part of NCN State basketball coverage. Second free throw, Walter good. So there's the first point of the second half for Cedar Catholic.
Yeah, not a lot of offensive output really from either squad, but I think if I'm Cedar Catholic, I'm okay with it. I'm kind of protecting my lead, kind of sitting on it here.
Well, Southwest had some chances. Again, that's kind of the story of the game. Cedar Catholic's defense and Southwest chances just not getting anything to go. They've only shot 5 3-pointers. So it's not like they've been throwing up a lot of wild shots from the outside. They just can't get anything from the inside. They're 5 of 21 from two-point land. That one a little wild.
So
Cedar Catholic gets out of there with it.
Just kind of felt like Van Pelt might have forced both of those attempts a little bit. And, tough foul.
Yeah, a little too physical there. And it looks like Pitt caught one in the face.
And the nose. Yeah, I think she's going to get a sub.
Yeah, you don't want to get popped in the nose. That's not fun for everybody.
Yeah,
There's a look at it. Somewhere in that scrum, she caught one in the schnoz.
And you love the hustle there from Allison Van Pelt, taking away the sideline there, not allowing the ball to just be advanced freely.
Cedar Catholic right side, draws another block. I'll tell you that RPAC conference that the Southwest comes out of, Rough Riders, as we look at the replay, just a lot of basketball, but the arms in there as well. That is perennially so good, not just in that part of the state, not just because it's western Nebraska, as the three is no good. Nelms gets the rebound, but boy, the teams that are in that conference, Dundee County, Maywood Hayes Center, Southern Valley, who was in the state finals last year, that's just to name a few. And to do what you do in that conference, this has got to be disappointing. Boy, it's working out here. Three-pointer off the mark. Again, another one and done. Southwest hasn't been getting many second chance opportunities.
Yeah, that's a great point. Cedar Catholic really crashing the boards as a team across the board.
Like Coach Wortman yelling down the floor, let's go, get it up here. With an 18 or 16-point lead midway through the third, you would think, okay, whatever.
Well,
if it's going to be ugly, it's going to be ugly.
Well, I would never feel safe with the Rough Riders knowing how prolific their offense can be. You don't want them to flip that switch and make that late run.
Well, rolling off the screen. Good play there by Berniker. Gets inside, can't finish. Gallegos stayed with her. Another offensive rebound, put back up on a foul.
Yep.
Well, Andy, we talked about the halftime break. We'd learn a lot in the first 3 minutes. It's 2-1.
Yeah.
2-1. That's the scoring here in the first 3 minutes.
And doesn't that feel like kind of plays into the hands of Cedar Catholic? Not allowing offense really to get ignited for either team here.
Free throw on the way. It's good. No good. The fewest of points that Southwest has scored all year long was 45. And that was in a win over Alma, who is also in the D1 semifinals, who I didn't mention when we were talking about the RPAC. And we're going to get a timeout here for Southwest. Nothing going on for either team here in the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. It's 31-14 Cedar Catholic. This is the D1 quarterfinals on News Channel Nebraska.
Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure. We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. We have wedding bands. We'll be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit gocurrency.com for details. The Carpet Shop, providing quality residential and commercial floor covering and installation for almost 50 years. And by See the Trainer with locations in Columbus, Lincoln, Omaha, Bellevue, and North Platte.
All right, out of the Southwest timeout. Let's see if the Rough Riders can get it going. They haven't been able to get it going for 20 minutes. They've only got 12 left, Andy.
Yeah, and head coach Craig Wortman staying animated with Cedar Catholic, and you mentioned how he's saying, go, push the tempo. Kind of makes me feel like a baseball coach always won that insurance run. You're up by 3? Well, I want to be up by 4. You up by 4? You want to be up by 5.
17-point lead here. Cedar Catholic will bring the ball up the floor here with Hochstein. Bailey working across this man-to-man. Southwest needs to find a way to pick a few of these passes off. Cedar Catholic's doing a good job.
Yeah. They've been playing with great spacing. One kind of goes off the shoulder there, but really all game long.
7 for Arns, 7 for Wortman on the floor right now. There's a good drive, but put up too strong. Billiter has it open at the other end, but too late. They get the ball down the floor to Nelms. But Billiter is going to score anyway. We haven't seen much of that, have we, Andy?
Staying under control, gathering herself, coming off that spin move. That was a very welcome sign for all Southwest fans.
But then this is what Coach Wortman wants. Get up, get going, got the foul.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you know.
Yeah, to your point, didn't allow for Southwest to feel good about themselves, right, and get something going in transition right away. Trojans get back into attack mode.
Free throw good. After a breather, Addison Walter will check back into the ball game here for Cedar Catholic. Held back in for Southwest. Trying to sneak back there was Billiter, but usually the coach is always going to see that, so they do. And the free throws are good. Billiter on the inbound. Gallegos tries to use a screen, got bumped coming off of that, but no shot. They'll take it out underneath.
Yeah, nice drive, exploiting the defense, with that quick first step. The help got there late. Walter picks up the foul. Obvious body got into Gallegos. There's head coach Craig Wortman talking with his staff.
And sees a steal on the inbounds, but then it's taken right back by Nelms. Oh, no, she falls and gets a foul. Foul's going to be called on Cedar Catholic.
Trojans
going Wortman.
Kind of fortunate there they got the foul a little earlier. Otherwise, that would have been on the shot because you can bet Nelms was going to get that thing on the rim.
Billiter, spin move. Boy, the double is there every time.
Yeah.
What a great job by Cedar Catholic. It is unbelievable. They know Billiter's going to take it to the rack, and they have got her covered like a blanket. Another turnover and another foul.
Yeah, just doing a really nice job collapsing inside. As you mentioned, to help the double team's always there to catch whoever it is, trying to drive the ball to the hoop in that isolation style offense. Half court set.
Tomorrow our coverage here on NCN begins at 9 a.m. Johnson Brock and Guardian Angels should be a good one to start C2. Then Elkhorn Valley against Cross County. Crofton will play UTAN. And Oakland Craig will play Homer. Tomorrow night, Sacred Heart against Anselmo Myrna and O'Neill St. Mary's against Archangels. Gallegos off a ball screen, kicks it to Billiter. Step back three over everything. Nelms can't capture it. It's going to stay there, though.
Nelms able to fight for that offensive rebound, does maintain possession as it goes off Cedar Catholic.
This was a 29-12 game at halftime. 4 points for each team here in the quarter. Almost a banked-in wing three that time from Truxa. Instead, a long rebound, and here comes Berniker with it. Jumper at the corner from 17, no good. Hard to tell if Cedar Catholic's frustrated with their offense or pleased with their defense right now, knowing it's just a 4-4 quarter.
Well, you can tell they want to continue to push the tempo. It's like they don't want to allow the Rough Riders to get comfortable whatsoever.
And the ball thrown away. They were trying to set a screen over there. There was a collision, and that threw everything off. A layup at the other end. Arns knocks it down. She's got 11 points. Nelms tries to answer. Weak scoop shot there. And another foul. And the frustration starting to set in here for Southwest. And I don't blame them, Annie.
Right.
They haven't been in this situation, and coming in and then just didn't have much on it, trying to steal it back and getting the arm. That is the fifth foul, so we come to the other end and shoot.
You know, obviously looking for the whistle there. And as you mentioned, getting that frustration foul going in for the takeaway, the steal attempt.
Chance to go up by 20, and they do.
Yeah, and the Trojans just continue to keep their foot on the pedal. You know, they don't want to allow any of the momentum or the lead that they've built in that first half, you know, kind of salt away here in the second half.
And the second free throw comes right back at him as an offensive rebound. Almost put a three on top of it, and then going to get a walk.
Right idea. You could tell Wortman saw the crease in the defense there. Just shuffled her feet before she took off.
Southwest down by 20. It's just been a kind of a game the whole way. Nelms against the double team behind Gallegos, but luckily Southwest able to pick it up there with Truxa. 17% right now for Southwest. 6 of 34 on the other end, 31% for Cedar Catholic. Try to get it to Billiter, the pass is off. Another steal made. Six turnovers now in the last 6 minutes of this ball game, and they lead to more points here for Cedar Catholic.
There's Pick taking advantage of her length. Good to see her back into the game.
There's a good transition bucket. Gallegos got it up the floor. Nice bounce pass to Stanley Nelms, who put it up and in. We've seen Cedar Catholic do that quite a bit. Southwest finally able to get it done.
That was the first time it felt like just a good rhythm, right? Yeah. From start to finish.
Cedar going to call for a travel. And some late quarter additions here to give the starters a little bit of a breather. But Southwest just hasn't even been able to string a couple buckets together to make Cedar Catholic think. It just hasn't happened. Zero momentum.
And they've been able to expand their lead to an even 20 now.
Final seconds of this third quarter. And Gallegos with it between the circles. Kind of quiet on the Southwest side and even kind of quiet on the Cedar Catholic side. It's not like they've exploded here and made a bunch of runs, and they're just losing the basketball, hitting the ground. It's going to be Nelms, and we're going to get a jump ball.
Yeah, this man-to-man defense from Cedar Catholic is just causing so many problems for Southwest. Just this half-court offense gets a little stagnant. The ball gets sticky, gets stuck in one area.
14 on the shot clock. Ball swatted away again.
How many times, Doug, have we seen that entry pass kind of get poked away? Doesn't come through cleanly.
But Coach Wortman's calling out almost everything that Southwest is doing. Deep three, Truxa no good. Nelms rebound. Tries to get it back up and can't hit it off the front of the rim. 10 seconds. Hochstein made aware of that. Hochstein into the front court. Gives it off on the right wing. Three-pointer knocked away by Nelms. And Hochstein, can she get one up at the horn? No, she can't. And that's the end of the third quarter of play. 38-18. Arlington Cedar Catholic 15-11, leading 23-1 Southwest here on News Channel Nebraska.
Here's what you can expect on News Channel Nebraska. The top local news headlines all morning, plus 8 a.m. Mass with Father Joe. Stay up to date throughout the afternoon with the NCN News app. And tune back into NCN throughout the evening for the latest developments on major stories along with live high school and college sports. News Channel Nebraska. Independent media for all Nebraskans.
Teammates Mentoring is in need of mentors, especially for students in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Meeting with a student just once a week in school can make a positive impact on their life by providing a sense of hope and helping them reach their full potential. 92% of Teammates Mentors report that they leave their mentoring time in a better mood than when they arrive. So what are you waiting for? Head over to teammates.org today to learn more information about how you can get involved. Join the team. Be a mentor.
We go to the fourth quarter, a 20-point cushion for Cedar Catholic, 38-18, Andy.
Yeah, but this is where they're not going to want to get lackadaisical, kind of open the door, any type of, glimmer of hope for you, what they've been doing throughout.
And a nice give and go in the layup to start the fourth quarter for Caitlin Arns. She's now got a game-high 13 points for Cedar Catholic. The largest lead of the game, 22. Van Pelt off balance, but finally got one to go. That's the first bucket of the ball game for Allison Van Pelt. I think right now, even though that's a turnover, it just does not appear that there's any chance that this game's going to get close. You just won't have a positive experience. I don't know what Southwest is going to get out of this if they don't get to 30 points, but they're going to see a three-pointer that doesn't hit any iron. You always want it to be fun. I always feel for a wrestler that's upset at the state tournament that's a number one guy, or a basketball team, 23-1, and all of a sudden this is the time you pick to have your worst game of the year.
Well, you alluded to it early. If Southwest gets punched in the mouth, if they get, down, which they haven't been down in very many games at all throughout the season, the type of season they've had, only dropping one game, how would they respond? Oh,
man,
my gosh.
There it is again.
Yep.
Shot was blocked by Gallegos, and what does Cedar Catholic do? They just sneak in there and steal it away, and Wortman not only steals it, she scores.
Yeah, and just when shots aren't falling for you and Cedar Catholic's on point, things start to add up, and you can kind of see the type of outcome that can happen.
Well, Gallegos comes in, tripped up, going to get bailed out here by a blocking foul. 2 free throws coming up. Well, I assume most people know, but there's probably a question out there. And since we saw Father Joe during the break there on our last commercial break, people may be wondering, what is on the forehead of those Cedar Catholic girls? Well, it is Ash Wednesday. SCOTUS had that, or just it's a Catholic tradition. Today is Ash Wednesday, and that is ashes mostly in the sign of the cross on the forehead, and Cedar Catholic being one of the Catholic schools here that we saw today. So that's what that is.
Yep, wearing their faith out on the court here.
Southwest, man, just almost stole it away. I guess she's standing out of bounds. Arns spun around and stood on the baseline. Inbounds three, no good. Walters gets the rebound again. Always looking for that outlet. Cedar Catholic's got it. Deciding to pull up and hit the three is number 3, Savannah Pick.
Boy, she's made some just spectacular plays. Once again, not forcing it, right, Doug? Just allowing the offense to come to them. The Trojans on point here in Lincoln.
And the next to last time out here for Southwest. The writing, if it hadn't been on the wall, it's there in ink now. Cedar Catholic 45, Southwest 20. 6 minutes to go here on NCN.
Hi, I'm Baylor Shireman, proud to call Aurora, Nebraska home. From dreaming big in a small town to being drafted by the Boston Celtics, I've always aimed for the best. That's why I rely on Roe Buick in Grand Island and Roe Chevrolet in Aurora for my vehicles. When you're driven to succeed, you choose a winning team. Before you drive away in your next car, check with the team that knows how to win. Roe. It's the Roe you know.
Life can move at a pretty fast pace here in Nebraska. From lights on to lights out, there's no stopping our work ethic. That's why at Nebraska Public Power District, we take pride in keeping you going. Pride in knowing that your power grid is consistently ranked one of the nation's most reliable and resilient. We take on the challenges 24/7 because electricity is the lifeblood of your day, and powering your day is what motivates us to do our very best. NPPD, powering our state, empowering your life.
Well, fourth quarter action here on News Channel Nebraska is brought to you by Visit Lincoln. See and experience all that Lincoln has to offer. Discover more at Lincoln.org. Doug Andy Klassen with you here as Southwest Van Pelt puts the shot up, no good. Walter with another rebound.
Yeah, able to get, in the center lane on that zone defensive look. Once again, the shots just do not fall for Southwest.
Walter misses. Offensive stick back there by Arns. It'll be interesting. There's going to be plenty of rest for both of these teams. Now, Coach Erzman left her starters in almost all the way for Elm Creek, but they had a comfortable lead in the fourth quarter. It's going to be the same here for Cedar Catholic as Van Pelt gets her second bucket.
Nice job moving the ball around. Van Pelt getting behind the defense.
Another transition layup, Cedar Catholic. And they've done it a ton of different ways. It seems like they get a lot of layups, and they don't always look the same. Pull up three. How about that? Finally, Nelms able to knock one down. She's got 6 points in the game.
It's kind of fun. This is the most offense we've seen back-to-back possession-wise in a while.
And we're going to see more of it here as the layup's good. So Southwest trying to sell out against the presser, and Coach Wortman sees that, so he's going to call the timeout as well. 4:51 to go in the game, 51-25. Cedar Catholic on their way to the state semifinals. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Misty. Here at Family Physical Therapy, we strive to go beyond your symptoms, ensuring you have access to quality, individualized care. We offer physical, occupational, and speech therapy. Family Physical Therapy has an excellent staff that cares about our patients' success. Whether you're suffering from a sports injury, a stroke, or working to improve balance and coordination, Family Physical Therapy is here to help. When you're here, you're family. Visit us at one of our many Nebraska locations today.
State basketball on NCN is brought to you by Heritage at Fountain Point, redefining senior living with a steadfast commitment to comfort, compassion, and dignity. Agri-City Insurance, protecting what you grow. And by Family Physical Therapy and Sports Center, getting you back in the game.
Well, Cedar Catholic had missed the state tournament last year. Before that, they had been here 4 consecutive years. And all 4 of those years, Andy, they won their first round game. This is going to be a 5-game winning streak in the first round. Last time they lost in the first round was back to St. Cecilia in 2018.
Yeah, pretty amazing the model of consistency that they've had over at Cedar Catholic. Trojans, they always turn it on at the right time. March.
Yeah. That is the time to turn it on. When they were last here, they lost to Centura in the semifinals, who eventually went on and won their first state championship. And it looks like we're going to have a foul out here for Van Pelt. Allison, a senior, has just played her final moments. You're going to have Atlee Nelms, a senior, and Allison Van Pelt, and then Anastasia Gallegos. It's not like Southwest is going to go anywhere, but they are going to lose those seniors. Peyton Truxa, also a senior that comes off the bench. 51-25, Cedar Catholic. There's Walters again. Dishes on the right wing. Pass right back to her. She's fouled.
See, and that's the type of flow, offensive rhythm, in the half court that Central Catholic's been able to get into that Southwest just really hasn't been able to find.
Well, when we talked with Coach Wortman before getting ready for today's games, he says one of the strengths was playing in the conference that they play in, is playing in that mid-state conference and seeing the teams that they see, Pierce, Battle Creek,
Guardian
and on.
Yeah.
Norfolk Catholic.
You know.
And he says they love the conference because it prepares them for the state tournament. He goes, it's not always easy to deal with through the season, but it pays off in the long run. It is paying off big time in the postseason over the last few years.
Boy, it really has. You know, and, yeah, you look at that record and you're like, there's really only 4 games above 500? Well, there's a little bit of a story to that. And you can, as you mentioned, kind of point to the competition they play throughout the season.
Well, and they weren't the 8 seed. That shows you the wild card points they're getting. And they do play a little bit up with some C1 and C2 schools as the shot's no good. How about a third try? Up and in for Nelms. Atlee now with 6 points in the basketball game. 52-27. A little scrum. Hochstein going to get a 10-second call or a timeout. Had the timeout, so they're going to go ahead and use it here. Southwest wanted to travel, didn't get it. 3:57 to go in the basketball game. Cedar Catholic 52 and Southwest 27. We'll take the break with them on NCN. After that, a little bit of a scrum.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. You live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
Don't forget, after our ball game, we'll be talking with the victorious coach, Coach Hortman, and our player of the game, brought to you by Heritage at Fountain Point and Roe Buick in Grand Island and Aurora. Also show you some of the top plays out there, brought to you by Currency.
Hey, if Roe Buick's good enough for a current Boston Celtic and Baylor Shireman, it's definitely good enough for me.
That's right. Great to see Baylor. Southwest putting on some pressure here with 4 minutes to go in the basketball game. This one comfortably in the win column for Cedar Catholic. Now we'll just see how long we keep some starters in there, and then we'll get to due-to time, the chance for somebody like me to get into the ball game. So there you go. Shot blocked inside, and we're going to get a travel.
Yeah, you can see Cedar Catholic just trying to work the ball around, milk some clock a little bit.
Well, Cedar Catholic got off to a quick start here in the fourth quarter. Now kind of sitting in this spot.
Unfortunate turnover there for Southwest.
We got a little injury here to Cameron Lecker. They're bringing her over to the sideline here and having the trainer come over and look at her. She got twisted up there in that scrum for the basketball, so hopefully she's okay. Hochstein dishes it off. Here's Pick driving in. That almost got tipped in by Southwest. And we got over the back foul. First foul of the game on Pick. Watch this. Bang, tip. That's just kind of the way the day's going. I wouldn't have been surprised if Cedar Catholic would have got two the old-fashioned way from the other team.
Right. Kind of had that game to it where things have been just working out for the Trojans and not so much so for the Rough Riders, obviously. And your four horsemen came up with a loose ball there, Doug.
Yeah, they're hungry. They thought it was a big bale of hay over there. We're going to get the final timeout for Southwest. Try to bring it home with some positivity for Coach Shannon Lovin. 3:05 remaining in the basketball game. Cedar Catholic, well, they were up 17 at half, but it's never gotten any closer. 52-27, Trojans on their way to the state semifinals. We're on our way to break.
Zollner Ford in Beatrice has options to make the process of buying or maintaining vehicles easy and enjoyable. If you have your sights on a new vehicle, a member of our sales team would love to show it to you in the warmth of our showroom or bring it right to your driveway. For maintenance, we offer a few options to make service appointments convenient, like free pickup and delivery within 25 miles of Beatrice, including all of Lincoln. We can also come to you with our mobile service unit to help quickly get going again. Zollner Ford in Beatrice. Sales and service with a smile.
Well, speaking of those horses that we keep seeing, we're in the home stretch of this D1 basketball game. Still got most of the starters out there. Probably see that for another minute. And then get some of the other youngsters into the ball game. And here's one thing we don't want to see is a lot of reach-in fouls with this game decided.
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to get Southwest to, not put out an all-out effort, regardless if it's starters or reserves checked in.
Absolutely. That was the fourth foul on Billiter. Almost losing the basketball up the left sideline is going to be Wortman. Then the ball is knocked away. Here's Gallegos, and then it takes a flubber hop on her. Ball gets away and is going to be saved in the corner. Gets it to Nelms, tries the long-range jumper. The three is no good. Offensive rebound, Billiter, fade away, no good. And the rebound brought down again by Wortman.
Yeah, both shots challenged very well by the Trojans.
What a game, though, here for Caitlin Arnn. 17 points, 8 rebounds.
Boy, she had a couple of really nice fast break points there in the second half, back-to-back. Kind of slammed the door on any thoughts of a comeback.
Pick and roll underneath Walter. Boy, how many of those have they had? 10, 12?
Just really nice ball movement, right? Inside out, entry pass, catching the driving Walter on that occasion on her way to the rim.
How about Gallegos for three? No good. And this will be disappointing. It'll be a long ride home for Southwest. I mean, Bartley's not Bayard, and it's not Morrill, and it's not Mitchell, but it's going to be a long drive home for these young ladies, and hopefully they get to stay a little while and enjoy it. But once you're out, stuff to enjoy. I just think they were in shock. I think they were in shock somewhere in the second quarter when Cedar Catholic turned it from 2 points to 12 points.
Well, neither offense really got things going early on there, but then you saw shots starting to fall for Cedar Catholic. They got a couple of run-out fast break points. And, Southwest just didn't have a counter, didn't have an answer in that first half.
And you saw the disappointment there from the freshman Aspen Billiter. Well, don't worry, Aspen. You and your brother are going to be better than Dad and Uncle any day of the week. And I can say that because I called their games that long ago. Trying to have a little fun when it's not so much fun right now for Southwest. Cedar Catholic has the ball, turnover. But, boy, just, you don't love to talk about defense in basketball because it's not sexy. Well, that's how Cedar Catholic won by 27. They didn't win because of great offense. They won because of great defense.
Yeah, they really did. And there was that time where, offense was tough to come by for Cedar Catholic.
Yeah, it was 4-3 forever in that first quarter.
And then coming out of halftime break, both offenses took a while to warm up.
Well, Southwest has got some players in there. Caitlin Adams looks like also in Bellamy Stritt. Into the game, we've got Elizabeth Nesseth. Here's Lacey Hauser and Ella Cure. Cedar Catholic has got Kleinschmidt in there, Olivia. She's got the ball on the right-hand wing. There's Kendra Schmidt up top.
Whoops.
Trying to get your name in the scorebook. McKinley Lammers back in. She's got it underneath. Turn around off the square. Won't go. Rebound brought down by Nesseth. 45 seconds remaining in the ball game. Also in there, Eichhoff for Cedar Catholic. And how about Anna Cottle? Cottle also in the ball game. So everybody getting a chance to get the state tournament experience. Shot won't go. Southwest bench still rooting for their young ladies. Cedar Catholic with 25 seconds. Who's going to get a chance here? Pick and roll inside. Get the jumper up. It won't go for Connell. Offensive rebound. How about a three-pointer? Schmidt, no go. Boy, the crowd just roots its heart for these young ladies as they do the starters. Stritt brings it up the floor. Tries to throw it underneath, and that is going to bring an end to the opening day of the girls' state basketball tournament. Cedar Catholic Trojans 54. The Southwest Rough Riders 27. Southwest has their 22-game winning streak snapped. They'll end the season at 23-2. And Cedar Catholic, who had lost 4 in a row and were 3-7 in their last 10 games of the regular season. Won their 3 games against Wausau, Bloomfield, and Nebraska Christian in the postseason, and none of them were even close.
Right.
And neither was this one. They've won 4 in a row.
Yeah, playing a great brand of basketball, and you alluded to it. It's their defense, the on-ball pressure. Nothing came easy for Southwest, and they just could not find an answer offensively, and that's due to the Trojans and their defense.
Doug Duda, Andy Classen, as we get ready for our NCN postgame show. Eric will have a chance to talk with Coach Wortman and our player of the game, plus postgame highlights and final stats. Stay with us on NCN.
State basketball on NCN is brought to you by Roe Buick in Grand Island and Roe Chevy in Aurora, and by News Channel Nebraska. Want to know which games we're televising each week? Follow us on X at NCN Sports.
Just finished an epic game? Keep the excitement going with a stop at Good to Go convenience store on your way home. Refuel with a fresh coffee. Grab a tasty sandwich and fill up your tank to be ready for the next adventure. Whether you're celebrating a win or discussing the highlights, Good to Go has all your post-game refreshments covered. Make it a part of your game day routine.
Good to Go post-game snacks.
My name is Jesse Moore. Our 22-year-old son died from suicide. My journey with Caden's death was leading me down many dark paths, of which none included blaming God. It would have been easy, and he would have accepted it. How or why? I did not. I am not sure, other than the signs that only Jesus could have possibly controlled were put in front of me from the moment of this horrible family event. The only way I found to ease the pain of losing Caden was the time that I was able to spend in prayer with Jesus. If you are struggling, contact your local pastor or priest or call 988.
State basketball on NCN is brought to you by Unity Eye Centers, your provider of choice for complete vision care for all ages. And by News Channel Nebraska. Want to know which games we're televising each week? Follow us on X at NCN Sports.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
Here with Coach Craig Wortman, the victorious head coach of Cedar Catholic. And, Coach, we talked about it at halftime, the ability to force turnovers, the defensive pressure right from the start. They really seemed dialed in. What did you see from your team that allowed them to play that well on the defensive side of the ball today?
That's what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, of just trying to get as much ball pressure as we can from, once they take it out all the way to the other end of the court. So, the girls are just responding to what we've been practicing for the last 2 weeks. So, they came out quick and early. That's what we wanted to do, and they did a really, really good job against that tonight.
We see you a lot during the year. You play in the Mid-State Conference. You schedule tough teams out of conference. Every year you play one of the toughest schedules in the state. How does that prepare you for here in Lincoln?
It allows you to be able to deal with speed. There's a lot of speed out here that, we're trying to get as much speed up and down the court as possible, and sometimes in the Mid-States we can't go that fast. But here we can. And to be able to do that through the season, now we turn that over. If you're not used to it, it's tough to stay with it.
The remarkable thing about your team, as I've watched them this year, is watching different players step up and have big games for you. Tonight it was Caitlin. What was it about her that was working so well tonight?
I think she ran the floor. She ran the floor. She got up the floor. She's beating her girl down the court, which allowed her to get the easy buckets. And that's what we were talking about, again, for the last 2 weeks. If you can beat your own, you're going to get your easy buckets on the other end. So she just worked her tail off.
Elm Creek, what do you know about them? What are you expecting in the semifinals?
Well, I don't know too much about them. We're going to have to do our stuff here the next 2 days, but they'll be tough. They look like they're a pretty balanced team, like to play defense, so we're going to have our hands full.
Coach, congrats on the win. Good luck at the semifinals.
Yep, thank you very much.
As head coach Craig Wortman, let's bring in our player of the game, Caitlin Arns. Caitlin, I was talking with Coach about it. We've watched your team quite a bit over the year, and so many different players on any given night can step up and have a big game. What is it like playing for a team that's so balanced? It seems like you really enjoy sharing the ball with each other. What's it been like playing with them this year?
It's been really great. I just loved our team chemistry that we have going on, and just when you pass the ball, and yeah.
Coach talked about you were out running the floor tonight. Has that been a focus for you? What's been the thing that you've been working on, and how were you able to get your offense going tonight?
The main goal in practice is we've been working on running the court like the whole time. So just like, passing it to our teammates is a big key to that. So I think we really executed that well tonight.
Cedar Catholic has a lot of tradition down here at State. You've had some semifinal appearances. What's it going to take for the Trojans to get over the hump and make it to the championship game?
It's going to come down to our details and our determination on defense. Just keep working hard. And like Coach says, every play matters.
Well, Caitlin, great job tonight. Congrats on the win and being our player of the game.
Thank you.
That's Caitlin Orange. She stepped up in a big way. Let's send it back to Greg. I don't know who Greg is. Doug. Let's send it back to the broadcasting booth before I forget who I am.
Well, there you go. It is the sixth game of the day. That's okay, Bob. Don't worry about it over there. Thanks to Eric, Andy. Let's take a look at some of the final stats of the basketball game, and we've got our stats that we're going to be looking at. Then we'll get into some highlights on the stats side for Southwest tonight. Nobody got into double digits. You had 7 for Kyra Nelms. 6 points, 7 rebounds. 6 points, 4 rebounds for Atley Nelms. 7.6 rebounds for Aspen Billiter. Gallegos and Van Pelt each had 4 points, but Southwest just couldn't make baskets tonight. 20% in this basketball game.
Never did just turn around, and they were getting a couple looks here and there, and their offense worked at times. We never saw it consistently throughout any portion of this game.
27 points, 41 rebounds, 4 out of 6 at the free throw line, 1 of 16 from three-point land, 5 blocks, 28 turnovers from a Southwest team that was 23-1 coming in. That's probably the biggest. I don't know that even 20% was the number. It's probably the 28 turnovers in this game. For Cedar Catholic, Arns, as you saw, 17 points, 8 rebounds. Had Wortman with 11 points and 3 rebounds. Berniker, 3.7 rebounds. Addison Walter, 8.6 rebounds. Bailey Hochstein hit the first shot of the game, but that was it for offense. It wasn't it for what she did defensively. 3 points, 2 rebounds. Pick had 8 points, 4 rebounds. Berniker, 2 points, 4 rebounds. And Lammers, 2 points, 2 rebounds. 54 points, 44 rebounds. 6 out of 12 at the free throw line, 4 of 18 from three-point land. They actually didn't shoot the ball that well in the second half. 50% at one point, ended up at 36% in the game. No blocks, 20 turnovers. Cedar Catholic wins it, and now 16-11.
Yeah, and just a much more balanced attack offensively. And Coach Wortman broke it down very nicely. They're just talking about how they got into transition. They ran well in the open court.
All right, let's take a look at our top plays brought to you by Currency. Need financing for RVs, ATVs, or other expensive items? Currency is here to help. Visit gocurrency.com today. Southwest, Cedar Catholic. Southwest, the number 3 seed. Cedar Catholic, despite that record, we keep talking about the conference they're in. That's why they're the 6th seed with 11 losses, playing a lot of C1 and C2. But once the offense finally got going here for Cedar Catholic, like we said, it was 4-3 forever. Southwest had that lead. And there's Pick knocking down one, 10-4. Then a good bounce pass inside. The layup for our player of the game, Orange, 12-4. It was 19-7 at the end of the first quarter because Cedar Catholic started turning the ball over here, getting some turnovers on Southwest, hitting some layups, and taking that lead by 12 after the first quarter. And then they just continued to extend it. This is where Southwest started to get a little frustrated because they couldn't get the ball inside. They kept turning the ball over, the three-pointers, and they didn't take a lot, weren't falling. And the lead up to 15. There's one of the many back cuts. A nice pass from Walter inside to Lammers, puts it up and in. And Southwest finally gets a little something. Aspen Billiter able to knock one down before halftime. It was 29-12 at halftime in favor of Cedar Catholic. We mentioned, well, how will things go in the second half? We'll find out in the first 3 minutes. Well, where's our first highlight? 4.5 minutes in. It was 2-2. That's all we'd had the first 4.5 minutes, and we didn't have much scoring at all until, again, late in the game, third quarter. Gallegos makes the nice bounce pass, and Nelms is able to lay it up and in. But Southwest was down 38-18, and a little bit more early on in the fourth quarter here from Cedar Catholic. They eventually got the lead out to 27 where the game ended, and there again is Arns with another layup. Outlet pass, transition. Doesn't look like they have numbers right. 2 on 5. Okay, nobody's guarding me. Let's bank down a 3 with Savannah Pick. And that's the kind of night it ended up being here for Cedar Catholic as they cruise to the state semifinals 54-27. And I think one of the interesting things when Coach was asked there by Eric McKay what he knew about Elm Creek, one thing Cedar Catholic's going to have is a lot more depth. Elm Creek is not very deep. They like to play 6 girls, maybe sneak a 7th in there. Cedar Catholic able to use a lot more girls.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but Elm Creek has so many scores. Their top 5 scorers are all prolific. They can lead the night in scoring for that team night in, night out. So you don't know which way they're going to attack you. So even though they don't have great depth, they spread the ball around so well, and you can't just hone in on 1 or 2 scores on the offensive end. It's going to be a tough challenge for the Trojans.
Cedar Catholic is going to be just a little bit taller inside. But, boy, those post players from Elm Creek, they love rebounds.
Yeah, they do such a nice job of just playing fundamentally sound, finding their man, getting a body on body, boxing out. We saw that a lot earlier today. It's going to be a great matchup.
All right, we're going to take a final break and wrap things up here on day 1 coverage of the state girls basketball tournament on NCN.
A body in motion stays in motion until you feel that muscle tighten, that sharp pain you didn't expect, and suddenly you're stopped in your tracks. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief.